What's up? Looking good.
Hello, boys. This is a weird time right now because I would say it's maybe similar to like right before you get married or before you have kids, or maybe if you had a fortune teller tell you the day that you die. We are sitting 1 week away from the rest of our lives changing forever.
Have you had a fortune teller tell you the day that you're going to die?
I wouldn't want to know.
I wouldn't either.
Although it would rock if they told you and they're like 98.
Well, it would suck if they said next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I got to see Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I got to see Caleb Williams.
We're 1 week.
When or how? You had to know, like this has been an ongoing would you rather. And you have to find out one. You either have to find out when or how. What are you picking?
I think how, and hope it's natural causes. Because that would stink if it was like a bus hits you and then you just
then
never
the rest
go
of your
outside
life
again. You just wait for a bus to fall out of the sky onto your house.
It's just a shellfish reaction.
Yeah, right.
It could be one of your kids' toys then that gets thrown across the room and it hits you in the head and then you have a
Yeah, true. So I think you'd have to, if you're faced with that, I think you'd have to go with when. But
would you live your life any differently?
If I found out I was going to die in like a year, yeah.
What would you do?
Oh, he'd still work and podcast and content forever.
Gotta go to Rough and Rowdy. I've only got 360 days left, but I gotta go to Rough and Rowdy.
I'm excited to go to Rough and Rowdy.
Of course.
Well, I mean, I have to take a flight tomorrow. This will be awkward if I die. Hopefully, you guys won't. Well, how will you guys react to that on Monday?
I won't feel like we jinxed you because I
think
don't
you
believe in
did jinx
jinxes.
me.
I
Yeah.
don't believe in jinxes.
I think you jinxed me.
There's nothing that I could say or do that will have any impact
You don't
on
believe
the
in
safety
any
of your
jinxes?
flight.
That's crazy.
Why don't you blame Boeing?
That's
Don't point to the two of us.
Well, because I don't want to blame Boeing because we know what happened to that guy. Boeing's fine by me.
We would say that he did what he loved doing.
Flying to West Virginia
on a private jet.
Yes,
to call some flights.
and this was a labor of love for him. And even though that we had this conversation, content was king with Big Cat.
Yeah.
and
Guy doing what he loves.
And he wouldn't have wanted this conversation
No,
any other way.
Yeah, you guys
Right
to
after
roast
his
me.
just a fabulous rendition of the national anthem.
Yep. I didn't even get to. No, maybe if I die going there, I don't even get the anthem. That would be tragic. If I don't even get one last anthem. I don't even see if the Bulls win
can't-
tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean,
So I don't even know what I want.
Which, by the way, good news. Woj just tweeting after further evaluation today, reduced swelling around Bulls guard Alex Caruso's left ankle has increased optimism of his chances to play against the Heat in the Friday play-in tournament. Game time decision now, Big Cat.
I'm so torn tomorrow night, and I think that a lot of people agree with me. I know you do. I like the guys on the team I root for because, Kobe White was so good last night. DeMar is maybe the most likable guy in the world. Caruso, like, he's got one leg and he's going to go out there, gut it out. But there's just part of me that's like, all Jerry Reinsdorf wants is 2 more ticket gates for a team that has no business. They have no serious business like being in these playoffs and competing in these playoffs. So it's like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to root for. It's a terrible spot to be in as a fan because you want your team to win, but you also know that there's no actual chance they could beat the Celtics, and then you're just letting Jerry be like, oh, we made the playoffs.
And there's a better mathematical chance to win the lottery if you don't make the playoffs.
Right.
Than there is to beat the Celtics.
Right. Exactly.
So that's just simple math.
And we already blew through next year's budget with Red Panda yesterday and see red towels on the seats.
Is that what they did? They did Red Panda last night?
Yeah, so we got no budget left. We're going to be under the cap.
It
We're
is
going to be on
crazy.
luxury tax again.
I mean, how can you not enjoy watching Kobe White do what he did?
It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you enjoy it because you're a Bulls fan, but at the same time, you're like, the last thing I want is that front office to be lulled to sleep.
Right.
Thinking
They're
that.
already
And
asleep.
I'm
that's
so
true, but
sick of being in no man's land in the NBA. It is so
they're going to
terrible.
constantly going to blame injuries.
Yeah,
and
Derrick Rose, if he doesn't get injured, everything's different.
They're still blaming.
Yeah, it's
Derrick Rose
just a
injury.
terrible. It really like pains me to vocalize this because it's crazy to be in a win and get in game and have these feelings.
Yes.
It makes you feel dirty as a fan.
Right.
But it's also it's the reality of how I feel. And I think you feel this way, and a lot of people feel this way, where it's like, we're just stuck in this just absolute no man's land where nothing is going to change.
C. Red Fred called. I don't know if you're familiar with C. Red Fred.
Oh,
You know C. Red Fred?
Of course.
He's always optimistic. He's always telling us about the 7th championship.
Punxsutawney Fred.
Yeah, and he's telling us.
Oh, we won the 7th, the Summer League, remember?
I wore my Barstool shirt, by the way, a couple nights ago of the play-in almost champions last year.
I got another one for tomorrow if we lose.
Good.
I got another one.
It's
a banger.
My kids don't understand that shirt.
Yeah.
They're getting older. They're so confused by that shirt.
I know, but yeah, we
they're
got
like,
another
what
one.
Championship is this? Last year, what championship did we win?
Almost did it.
I'm like, no, this is sarcasm.
Yeah.
So he's selling me on 17 more wins in the postseason this year. I made a bet with him. I said, Fred, I will make you a bet that the Bulls don't win 17 total playoff games by 2027.
Oh.
And dinner for me and my wife, he's putting a $250 limit on it. Or he gets
you don't have to go to dinner with him.
No, not
Okay,
with
good.
him, no.
Thank
Just
God.
my wife and me. And
if you lose, then you should have to go to dinner with him.
if I lose,
One-on-one.
he wants to come into the studio and do a podcast.
Okay.
Host a podcast or do a segment or something
Does he
like
know
that.
this is a radio show?
What's that?
Does he know this is a radio show?
He doesn't. No.
Okay. All right.
No.
And so, like,
He thinks we're just sitting around having coffee.
I think this is
I'm
going to be
go to
the,
United Center tomorrow night and hit some BP.
this is the easiest bet I'm going to win.
Yeah, you are going to win this.
17 postseason. How many years do you give the Bulls to win 17 total postseason games?
Well, just do the math. That is, I mean, you have to win more than 4 series,
So
right?
that's
to
3
get there.
years. That's 3 years. They have to-
24, 25, 26,
Yeah, no.
27, 4 years.
So they have to
years.
win 1 series per year
Yeah.
or more.
Oh, yeah. No chance.
I mean,
no chance.
no, I don't see that.
And it's just like, and what are we going to win? 1 game against the Celtics? I don't even know if we would. They're really good.
I mean, everyone, like that team's pretty much gifted the Eastern Conference Championship, aren't they?
It just stinks, man. It stinks. I wish that there was a direction, and there's just no direction. And then we're stuck with this again, where it's like, oh, the play-in, no, Jimmy Butler's hurt. And then if we lose them, it's like, that's even more pathetic in a weird way. It's just like, how do you lose to Jimmy Butlerless Heat? I mean, the Hawks, I'll say that. The one saving grace is the Hawks are the most unserious franchise of all time.
horrible.
That team, they didn't even play. They didn't even think about playing defense. And Trae Young, their best player, the only time I was scared in that game last night was when Trae Young was on the bench. That's when they made their run.
Would you trade Zach for Trae Young?
No. Heck no.
Well, who are you trading Zach for then?
I don't think there's much of a market for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So,
Zion, I would rather
well,
Zion.
you're not getting Zion
I would rather
now.
Zion, even though he gets hurt in every big moment, but you saw at least the 40-point game, and you're like, oh, man, this is what it is.
I was pitching Zion last year
I know,
when no
I
one
was
wanted.
with you. I was with you. It's like, I'd rather be teased that way, where it's like you have a guy on the roster that's a true game-changing one. Yeah, he can't stay healthy, but okay, like there's at least something, but there's just nothing. And I feel terrible for the guys on the team who try really hard and they don't give up. And you saw it last night. Like the Hawks are an organization that gave up, and the Bulls haven't. But man, it's
Zion played 70 games this year.
Yeah, he did.
That's more than I thought he played.
Yeah.
But then he got hurt at the most
I know.
inopportune time.
Yeah, with 40-point
yeah,
game, he was
little
working
hammy.
on. Little hammy, those
A little
soft
hammy,
tissue
them
injuries.
soft tissue
Gotta
injuries
be
are no
careful.
good.
He'd be a perfect White Sox.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, and the
No, 7. That's like 85% of the games played. There's no chance.
All right, so
he'd
here's
set a team record if he played 85% of the White Sox games.
here's a question that I was throwing around with some friends the other day. So I think Caleb Williams is going to be great. I think the Bears are on the right path. I think the Cubs are on the right path. They're playing well. Like, there's probably another big thing that we got to do in the offseason, you know, the final touches to it. Connor Bedard, another pick coming for the Blackhawks. If those 3 franchises start playing well and getting into the playoffs deep, do you think there will at least be some embarrassment and pressure on Jerry to be like, I'm the only one? Because you got 2 out of 5, and they both stink.
There was 300 people in his baseball stadium yesterday
I
for a
know,
doubleheader.
but I'm just trying to workshop.
If that doesn't embarrass you,
I know I'm workshopping what can be.
Hey.
Like if all 3 teams win a title, and he still has two of these garbage teams. Like, would he at least
Big Cat.
feel a little bit?
He had 20,000 people in his building rocking yesterday.
I know.
He's not embarrassed by
Smiling
that.
ear to ear. Red Panda.
Wait, with a cigar.
I love Red Panda. She doesn't deserve a straight shot, but I don't know. I this is where I'm at.
Got a little stressed.
Yeah, I love her. I do love her. People are saying she's washed. She's not washed.
How much do you think it costs to have her out there?
I think it's
every
like
game?
$15K.
Really?
Halftime. Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to
15,
ride a unicycle.
You could do
you
that.
Think
You could. I'll make you a C Red Fred bet. You could not. I'll give you till 2047. You wouldn't be able to do that.
to ride a unicycle?
And throw the ball and throw the bowls.
How many bowls?
She does like 10 bowls.
Well, you know
okay,
how
but-
you'd get so hurt.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm
Waddle
willing to
could
take
do
one for
any
a team.
of the things that she does isolated?
No. No, riding a unicycle is impossible. I've tried. It's impossible.
Diminishing returns too, because he's aging. It's not like the extra years will help him.
Yeah.
If
you're
he's
getting
gonna
old,
learn,
buddy.
What do you-
You're getting
you got to
old,
do it like the
buddy.
next month.
What
or
do
you
you
have
give
no
me if I
chance.
learn how to ride a unicycle?
That I would pay.
I'll,
to see.
I'll pay for
contribute.
dinner. I'll pay for dinner for you and C Red Fred.
I'm not going to dinner with
Yeah,
him.
yeah, no, that's what you do.
I mean,
It's
I
a great
like
deal.
him, but I'm not spending dinner time with him.
Like you would have to really ride it. I'm not saying like you
Yeah,
you have to
go-
stay on it for 10
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
You would have to
How
really
far
be
do I
a
have to
rider.
go?
Well, you'd
gotta
have to
commute to
master.
work.
You'd have
Commute
to
to work.
How much time do you give me to learn how to ride it? Do I get a calendar year?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay,
You don't have
calendar
to,
year.
and you don't have to
I gotta
do
get healthy
tricks.
because I'm hurt
You're
right
not
now.
going to try until, like, what's today's date? April. We're going to be sitting here April 17th next year. You're going to be like, all right, got to get
I'll
on this
chip into
unicycle.
this.
You got to give me more than dinner.
If Waddle masters riding the unicycle, I will pitch in.
Okay, what are you pitching in?
Like this would
I'll
be
buy
great.
you a unicycle.
I don't want a unicycle. I'm going to rent one.
Well, you will want one once you learn how to ride it.
You can't
It'd
just
be
rent
any
a
I
unicycle.
have
unicycle.
a
of
secret
your
weapon
choice.
here. Okay, but
The
I don't
world
want the
has so
unicycle.
many
I know. I want
unicycles.
to. I
You
want
could
to. I
buy
want
the
a prize.
nicest one you
I want
got.
a prize.
No, you would bring it to now the show, our different show events, and that would be a thing that you would show everyone.
You got to give me something more than dinner. Dinner
Well,
where?
what do you want?
I don't know yet.
You can come to Rough and Rowdy with me.
On the private jet?
Yeah.
Can you
actually
guarantee
so
that the
much
flight's
fun.
going to be smooth and
It's
get there
so
safe
much, yes,
there and
it
back?
is so much fun.
You go PJ on
yeah.
the wow.
Yeah. To West
Who are
Virginia.
you talking to?
I didn't
Who
know
are you
that.
talking
though.
to?
For work.
For work.
It's for work.
Come on, I want a better prize than dinner.
Rough and Rowdy. That's a good prize. I'll get. You know what? I'll give you a key card to my office, and you can just hit the golf simulator whenever you want.
I have one in my.
You have
You
a
do
golf
have a golf
simulator?
simulator?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know he just moved.
Yeah.
Oh. How nice is it? How often are you playing? Is that why you're injured?
No, I injured myself too.
Picking up a box.
Hurting
that
myself
will get
moving
you.
stuff.
That's why
That'll
he's
get
not
you.
going to
Ben, you
master
didn't
the
bend your knees?
unicycle.
You didn't bend your
No.
knees?
I did bend my knees. I just did too much.
He's not riding a
You're
unicycle.
giving me a year.
You
was
know,
was the box the golf simulator equipment?
No, it wasn't. No.
here's what's going to happen.
I'm on the mend though.
Okay.
Once he masters the unicycle, he's going to want to start doing tricks. Soon
Yes.
he's going to start hitting
He's
the
gonna get
golf
hurt.
ball from the
All right, pay for your
unicycle.
medical bills when you get hurt on your
No, I
unicycle.
don't know. I
insurance.
want something.
All right, you figure out whatever you want. A Rough and Rowdy trip's a good trip.
Okay.
That's a good trip.
Susie's got something on Red Panda. Susie, you're on with Barstool Big Cat. Say hello.
Oh, hi. I've never talked to him. This is great. So I got to tell you, I agree with you. She's kind of washed up.
All
I'm
right,
sorry,
hang
but
up
I
on
saw
her. Hang up on her. See you, Susie.
No.
See you,
Listen,
Susie.
Listen, stop. I saw her at a DePaul Marquette game this year at Wintrust Arena, and I was with a bunch of people. We were dying because she couldn't complete it. Like at the end, she couldn't get all the plates up, and she kept trying.
Cut her.
And oh god!
Get her off.
And by the
Susie
way,
or Red
we
Panda?
looked-
Susie.
Oh,
Wait, we looked it up. She makes $5,000 an appearance.
that's not enough.
That's
That's not enough for the
she
public
makes fun.
humiliation
Sorry.
that
All
she
right,
feels.
Susie, you just ruined everything.
What does she do when she doesn't succeed with her presentation? Does
She just keeps going. She
does
keeps trucking.
yeah.
I
Okay.
like
Cashes
Susie,
a
but that
check
was-
for $5K.
No, I know
Moves
that,
on.
but is like a
Non-stop
you know what?
motor.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's everywhere. That actually is sadder that was the big, like, the playoff game, 5K.
Who's top of the halftime pyramid?
Quick change?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Her or quick change?
Who's quick change?
You don't know quick change?
No.
Wait, quick change, I think quick change and Mrs. Quick Change might not be together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, what's quick change? I
You've
see the
never
guy that
seen
makes a
Quick
painting
Change?
at
What was-
halftime.
They would like just
They just quick change.
yeah.
What do you want?
In
What do you mean?
different
How
outfits.
can't we explain it better than quick change?
Well, where's the
He's
entertainment?
wearing one thing,
Where's the
but magic,
entertainment there?
magic.
It's
Where's the entertainment there? Hey, I'm
What
wearing a
part of quick-
T-shirt. Hey,
what-
I'm wearing
what-
a golf shirt.
What part
Hey,
of quick change you not understanding? The quick or the change?
both.
Okay.
they go into like a little phone booth thing, and the next thing they pull it down, and boom, they're in a different.
Yeah, it's that guy. It's the guy who does the what is he? He does the ladders. Is it ladders or is it tables that he puts on himself? And then there's the little dog guy.
Yeah, what the frisbee dog guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some great ones. We actually had my coworker Ron is super talented. He went and shadowed a bunch of them for a video series a couple years ago.
I love it.
What was his favorite?
I think it was quick change.
Quick change.
Yeah,
Still,
quick
I'm
change
old
is
school.
awesome.
What happened to Quick Change and Mrs. Quick Change?
Jesse
They had
White
a-
tumblers.
Jesse White
yeah.
tumblers still get it done for me. I know they do that stuff. Like they have their own tumbling crew now. The Bulls do, I believe. But like when Jesse White tumblers used to do the halftime show, nothing would get that United Center and Chicago Stadium crowd going like
Do you
that.
find it to be more entertaining in a halftime show when things go perfect or things don't go so perfect?
I like it when they have like the little kids come out and
Okay.
they play basketball or like
right.
hockey, and then you can like root against them.
You're rooting against
Not
them.
root against them, but like
You wanna see
when
them mess
funny
up.
things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about like a mascot football game? Do you like that? Like a mascot basketball game?
Against the little kids, mascots.
I was in
football.
one of those. I was
As a
in one
kid
of those.
or as an
no,
adult?
as an adult with the Vikings played the Bears.
There's been some of
and
this where the mascots just
Yeah, no, they
haul
did
off
that.
on the kids.
I was when the Vikings played the Bears, it was like, I don't know, maybe week 17, week 16, 17, to when they were still in the outdoor
Yeah.
stadium, like 2014. I was
kicking
there.
those little kids' asses.
Yeah, I was on the field for that.
That's
It was
not
awesome.
cool.
No, it is cool. It's fun.
No, you can't
Wearing
hurt these
pads.
kids.
Wearing
Can I
pads.
play you some sound here?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've reacted
Oh,
to this
yeah.
already.
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Greg Doyle stuff.
The most cringeworthy thing I've ever heard in my life.
All right, so Greg Doyle is a longtime columnist. He used to be a national columnist. Now he writes locally in Indy,
He's at the Indy Star, right?
Indy Star.
Yes.
So he was covering the Caitlin Clark introductory press conference yesterday. He has a question, and at the beginning of his question, you'll hear him say that he's got something for her, showing her something, and he's doing the heart sign with his fingers. He's showing her the heart, and so you'll hear the pause, and then she reacts to him giving her the heart. And then it gets so creepy and weird. Take a listen to this. This is Greg Doyle and Caitlin Clark.
Hi, Caitlin. Greg Doyle, Indy Star. Real quick, let me do this.
You like that?
I like that you're here. I like
Yeah,
that you're here.
I do that at my family after every game, so.
Okay, well,
Pretty
let's
cool.
start doing it to me and we'll be able to get along just fine.
So cringeworthy. And he had another one, too, that would have been just as cringeworthy if it wasn't for this one, where he asked the Indiana Fever coach, you get the keys to that. What are you going to do with it? Talking about Caitlin Clark.
You
Caitlin
get,
Clark
you
right
get the
there.
keys to that?
You get the keys to that. Oh, so terrible. And Greg Doyle is one of those guys he's an internet scold. So he's one of those guys who judges everyone else.
He's grabbing the
So
high moral ground.
Let him get dunked
Always,
on.
Oh, yeah.
always.
Let him get dunked on. That was so cringeworthy. And he wrote a column about it, which wasn't even better, where he's like, I always talk to like guys like this. Like, that's not cool to talk to anyone like
Right.
that.
It wasn't. It was a half-ass apology.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm sorry" at the end, and like here's a good example, Waddle, of like a type of column that Greg Doyle has done recently. He went to a Valley game when Indiana State this year was really good. They
Right.
were a really
Well, they
good
were
team,
ranked, right?
Yeah, when they were ranked, and Bradley's coach, I forget what his name is, but he's a longtime coach at Bradley. He's a little bit of a yeller. He wrote a whole column scolding the Bradley coach.
He did that about Danny Hurley for
Did
the
he
national
really?
championship game. He wrote an entire column being like, at least Purdue has class. What?
He did that too.
The
Like
guy who just won back-to-back national titles, you're talking about class?
he goes, I can't believe how much this Bradley guy berates his players.
Yeah.
Man
This
has no mirror in
this
his
guy's
house.
won like a bunch of games at
Terrible.
Bradley, the
Terrible.
coach.
Yeah.
And like that was his big takeaway. So yes, he's not a guy who's like a lovey-dovey guy. He rips everybody.
Yeah, he's not a guy who can, like,
How's he handling the response
not
to
well.
No, so
I
he's
don't
being
think so.
very
I mean, he wrote
defensive.
that column. He said that he was
Blocking
he did
people
the
on
whole,
social media?
I went through confusion, denial, and then I talked to a woman, and she told me I was wrong. It's like, Jesus
I
Christ!
could talk to
you
my
needed a
dog.
wo-
Would have
Yeah, I
told you
know.
that you were wrong.
Anyone would have told you were wrong for that. Weirdo. Ugh.
Annie Constable, who worked for us, she was an intern back in the day. She's covered the Sky for a while. Great writer in this town. She brought up a great point. Like, man or woman, like, man, if he went up to Wembanyama at Wemby's press conference
It's creepy.
and said the exact same thing to, what would Wembanyama do?
I know, and that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
he thinks it's like a man-female thing. And I get it, there are undertones to that, but it's
just
really
an
just like you're a
inappropriate thing.
weirdo.
You're a weird,
it's
yeah,
inappropriate.
You're
weirdo.
a weird dude.
Like if someone did that to Caleb Williams,
yeah,
Yeah.
I might do that to Caleb Williams. Let me just. I actually would
You
do
are in
that
love,
to
aren't
Caleb
you? You're in
Williams.
love, aren't you?
I would.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right there.
And then did you hear this? I don't know if either of you guys heard this. This was another good time. Do you know who Pete Fairbanks is?
No, it sounds familiar though.
Sounds like a game show host, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm Pete Fairbanks.
I'm Pete, or a weather guy, right? Pete
Yeah.
Fairbanks with your
Okay.
local weather.
Yeah.
Pete Fairbanks, I guess, is a pitcher
Yeah,
on
it'd be Pete Snowbanks if he
He's
was a weather guy.
Meller, did you know Pete Fairbanks before last night?
Yes.
So is he a good pitcher?
Yeah, he's the Rays closer.
So he's their closer. He's on the Rays. I guess he wasn't so good yesterday. And this was him in the clubhouse yesterday being interviewed about not being so good.
Was it just a matter of command, location, selection, anything specific?
No, I thought it generally sucked. I didn't think it was a specific suck. I thought it was like an all-encompassing type of suck. So, we're going to try and rectify that. But for right now, I'm going to be pretty pissed about it.
Where do you kind of go from here? Is it looking at tape? Is it going through mechanics? Where do you kind of go from here?
You tell me. I've tried that. If you got an answer, I'd love to hear it. Just, not going to let it beat me up for, I'll maybe give it till 10. It's 9:44 right now. We'll give it 16 minutes of sulk, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
How great is that?
That's incredible.
Isn't that? I knew you would love that.
That's so good. Sylvie, I know I got to run in a minute. I think you deliberately held off the uncomfortable conversation we have to have. So should we
What's
just
that?
do it right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Kyle Hendricks is washed.
I got more sound for you. This is Richard Jefferson
Come
at
on.
the game.
We have to
yesterday.
even delay this
Give him the ball
conversation.
one more time for the Marlins game. Let him pitch against the Marlins.
I told Sylvie, we were texting about it the other night when he was pitching. I was like, listen, if you want to wait till Steele comes back, that's fine. But when Steele comes back, you can't have him be in the rotation. And I love Kyle Hendricks. He's one of my favorite Cubs
Doesn't sound like it.
ever. Let him go out with dignity. Let him figure it, do a fake injury.
How do
let
you
him
do that?
Let him figure it out. Maybe bullpen if he can be good in the bullpen. I don't know. But it's just
He's not a bullpen guy.
you can't
Yeah,
Sylvie,
he
you
can't pitch in the
gotta-
bullpen. You have no appreciation for Game 6, winning the
I
pennant
have all the
against the Dodgers.
appreciation.
Clayton
You know what he's got? You know what he's
Kershaw.
got?
And
He's
what-
got a short memory is what
Yeah,
this guy's
like
got.
it's April 17th, 18th.
All right, so fine.
And you
fine.
just
We'll
wanna-
just
If
work
you
through his
think
problems
If you
for
think
crying
I
out
got
loud.
short memory, how long are we going to go?
Just
Do you
after the
remember
Marlins
Game
game.
7
How long
against
are we going to go? Just
the
answer that
Indians?
question.
The
How long?
Marlins game. You give him one start
more?
against, yeah.
All right.
Maybe turns it around
I'm
against
fine
that
with
minor league
that.
team from Florida.
How long are we going to go, Sylvie?
Like, if this was Patrick Sharp, you would
How
have,
long are we
let
going
him
to go,
play
Sylvie? You
forever.
won't answer the question. Have people been calling in telling him
Oh,
that this
I'm in the
is-
minority. But no, truthfully, truthfully, I wouldn't let him start again.
Yeah.
I would put him on the injured list.
I hope he figures it out. There'd be nothing better than he figures something out, and we're talking in July, and he's pitching great. But right now,
Yeah, and
he's
I'm kidding.
lost, and it's sad to watch. It's the second. It's like when Arrieta came back.
I'm playing around with you because what he did in 2016, 17
I love him.
should not dictate what you do in 2024. I'm not in Team DFA is all I'm
No,
saying.
I agree.
You
He's
got to
done too
try.
much.
There's too much season
Yes.
left to see if you
Yes.
can get
And
him right.
Someone might get injured.
He had a
Yes.
shoulder injury last year where he had surgery. So fine, put him on for 15 days, what you have to do for pitchers. Try to see on these side sessions if you can figure something out.
Yep.
He
I'm in
understands
for
he
that.
sucks.
I'm in for
you
that.
can take Ben Brown out of the rotation now.
Right.
for hopes of Kyle Hendricks getting another start.
Maybe he can go
You
on a
just can't
short
do that.
steroid cycle and give him a month to
Fine
run it
with that.
through. And then
You
next
are.
thing you
Fine with
knew,
that.
he's throwing 98. Well, I mean, you could do that.
He's one of my favorite Cubs. Like he's just everything. I mean, he's the last guy from the World Series teams.
I love the guy.
I remember when he like started, came up and it was like, oh, this guy, like he's different. He's not throwing 100 miles an hour.
He's the
but
professor.
He's crafty. He's the professor.
Right.
But it's just.
He's
It's
one of our
tough to
favorite
watch.
interviews,
It's
too.
tough to watch.
You've done
He's a
it
great
right-
guy.
and
No,
you've done
he's
it.
a great
I
guy.
know.
It's
I
tough to
get it.
watch. I want him to succeed. I don't want to keep trotting him out and watching him get shelled.
Look, you fired David Ross, who was a World Series hero for Craig Counsell. You traded Chris Bryant. You traded Javi Baez. You traded Anthony Rizzo. Like, there should be nothing left in the, hey, look at what he did for me.
Yeah.
If this is what's best for your organization, you have to do what's best for your organization.
It stinks. It stinks.
Any other heroes you want to run out of town before you leave? Anybody else?
I'll think of it.
Yeah.
think of one.
He gave up 7 earned runs last time.
Yeah,
And
like
it's
that was
also-
a hard game
it's
to
the
watch.
home runs. Like he historically doesn't give up home runs like that. He's given up how many home runs has he given up?
I said to the boys before, with a good bullpen, that would be hard enough to deal with because he would be taxing your bullpen. The Cubs bullpen right now isn't good enough to begin with.
Right.
So you're taxing a bad bullpen.
Right.
That's a recipe for disaster.
And the Cubs are. I think they're going to be competing for the whole season, for the whole summer. Like they've been on the road, which feels like forever. They're finally back home. Like they've had a couple of weird, tough losses. That one on whatever it was Tuesday night was horrendous, but you can't give up. Like, how many of these games are we going to be like, oh, we wish we had this one back?
They lost the postseason by what, a game or two last year?
Right. So it's like, as much as it doesn't matter, it does matter because we're going to be sitting here in September. I don't think the Cubs are good enough to run away with anything. It's going to be a fight, and I want to see them be in the playoffs.
Are you going to give us now who you want at 9, or do you want to save that for next week?
We can save for next
yeah,
week,
because
although I'm really thinking trade. I'm really
back
thinking
or forward?
Back, not forward. We need more picks. We only have 4 picks.
But what if like a Dunze's on the board? You still want to go back?
Yeah, because I would like to take. I wouldn't hate going back and getting a tackle and a wide receiver because I think there's a ton of wide receivers in that second round that are going to be really good.
That polls can identify though.
Yes.
Do you have faith he can identify?
Maybe Phil Emery can help him out. That guy could find a wide receiver.
He could. You're right about
That guy
that.
could find a wide
Where's
receiver.
Phil
Let's
at
get him
these
on.
days? Is he still employed?
Is he in
He's
Atlanta?
roller coaster. I don't know, but we got to get him just to call in for the wide receivers.
He got Alshon.
He got Alshon. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if Odunze's there, you kind of have to do it. But I hate that we only have 4 picks. I hate that. I wish we had.
Yeah,
a
but
second round pick.
you got more than that. You used one of them on Keenan Allen, so don't look at it that way. Look at it. You got 4 picks and
Montez
Keenan
Sweat.
Allen and Montez Sweat
Yeah.
and Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams.
Chase
It's been a good
Claypool.
draft.
Phil announced his retirement a year ago.
Oh, congrats.
So he's available to consult.
Just give us a wide receiver, Phil. Nothing else. We don't want anything else. Don't talk about any other position. Just tell us who the wide receiver is.
Roma Dunze at 9.
He'll be there.
If he is, I think you got to sprint.
This is a 5. The Bears are picking 5 because 4 quarterbacks are going to go 1 through 4. So then the draft starts after you've got your quarterback.
Are we sure
You've got
4
the 5th
quarterbacks?
pick.
I think
I'm
so.
hoping
Before the Bears pick.
That would be great for us because then if you're the Bears,
I know. I'm wondering if maybe the J.J. McCarthy. I mean, it seems like it's real, but
someone
it be,
will. Yeah, someone will dive up
someone
there.
will dive up. All right, yeah. So then a Dunze. I mean, it would be a great pick, and it would get me very excited, and it would just further the setup of Caleb Williams. But I wouldn't hate if we have a stud, offensive lineman there. If the same thing, if it's quarterbacks, if it's quarterbacks and wide receivers get the run on them in the first, 7 picks. If Joe Alt's there, trade up
They
to
take
8.
Joe
I'd be
Alt.
fine.
Yeah.
By the way, we have Cubs news. The Cubs game has been called for tonight.
Oh.
It's been postponed. They are playing a split doubleheader. It looks like on Saturday.
Oh. This is
120 and 640 on Saturday.
This is nice. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go sleep at like 8 o'clock tonight.
Are we expecting really bad weather tonight?
There's nothing on TV tonight. There's NHL games that no one's playing. There's
Final game of the season for the Blackhawks.
There's NHL games that no one's playing. There's one other baseball game, I believe, and that's it. So I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed early.
This is reruns
Nothing wrong with that.
of Sopranos. I'm into season 4, like episode 6 at this point.
Last question. Will I? So if the Bulls win Friday, the schedule is Sunday. I think at noon is the first game. Is it a bad? I've already promised my son I'm going to take him to Wrigley on Sunday. Is that bad?
No.
Okay. Just watch it on my phone.
Yeah.
You're worried about missing Bulls game 1 against the Celtics for
There'll be 3
spending
more.
dad time with your son at Wrigley Field
Good point.
with a good team?
Yeah, with the good team. I'll watch it on my phone. And also, I'll probably actually be home for the fourth quarter because my son will be 2 innings in.
And you're a
It'll be like, time to
DraftKings
go
guy,
home.
aren't you? Will they let him in the DraftKings sportsbook?
Probably not.
But maybe for you.
I'd say no.
Maybe for you.
I'd say definitely
He looks
no.
old for his age.
Yeah, definitely no. Maybe I'd wear a big trench coat and put him underneath it.
But you're Big Cat.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's a
Illegal?
no. Yeah.
All right, Big Cat.
All right.
You're the
boys,
best.
See you, buddy.
Next week, might have to do Thursday. We'll figure it out because I have to go to Detroit on Wednesday.
Oh, you will give us a live report from Detroit?
I'll be there for
From
2 hours.
From the
It's gonna be
draft
great.
scene? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yeah, I'll give you the whole report.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.